This week, a bipartisan group of lawmakers brought forward a new $908 billion stimulus proposal to try and revive failed coronavirus aid talks in Washington. The plan has not entirely been finalized and could still change. But the idea is to include $300 weekly enhanced federal unemployment benefits for 4 more months, as well as give $160 billion in state and local aid and liability protections for businesses in the short term. As for another round of stimulus checks, that is looking unlikely because they'd make the bill so much more expensive. The agreement would also provide another $288 billion for small businesses, including the Paycheck Protection Program, $45 billion for transportation, $25 billion for rental assistance, and $35 billion for healthcare providers.
Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer just came out and said, we think that bipartisan $900 billion plan is actually a good place to start. And that's a major shift from what they had been saying up till now. It still will need McConnell's buy-in, and that's a question mark. And it also will still need the president's buy-in if it's going to pass before the end of the year. And that's a question mark. So too soon to tell, but there has been movement.
According to Mitt Romney, who is part of the group drafting the plan, $348 billion of the package is new money. The remaining $560 billion would be drawn from unspent money from the CARES Act and emergency Federal Reserve lending programs. During a Senate Banking Committee hearing this week, Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin cited positive economic data as evidence that a smaller stimulus bill would be more appropriate. He also noted Mitch McConnell, President Trump, White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows, and House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy also support more targeted legislation. McConnell introduced a new targeted stimulus plan of his own this week, but it's likely to draw criticism from Democrats who say it's too small.
Biden this week also came out talking about stimulus, and he has been a proponent of a bigger bill all along. He said he has supported that $3.4 trillion HEROES Act from the House, but this week he said, he wants to see something immediate, but he said that's just a starting point. So that kind of opens the door to more legislation after he takes office.
And on top of all this pressure to get something done for Americans hurting from the pandemic, Congress also has to deal with the federal budget before a December 11th government shutdown deadline. It's possible for additional coronavirus relief to be bundled with the spending bill, but only if lawmakers can agree in time.